We all want to play really melodic, beautiful sounding jazz lines, but I don't know about you, sometimes I just need a process or a breakdown of how to actually go about doing that. So in today's video, you're going to learn how to use intervals and steps to create great jazz lines that have great resolutions, coming right up. What's up, Brent here from LearnJazzStandards.com, which is a blog, a podcast, and videos geared towards helping you become a better jazz musician. Make sure you hit that subscribe button below, hit the bell notification button to never miss out on anything going on here. So today's video, I actually have a very special guest who is going to be teaching this lesson. He taught this lesson in my new Making Scales Musical 101 course, which can be found in my Inner Circle membership. I'll go ahead and link up to that membership below in case you're interested in checking that out in the full course. This is a little clip from that course where he talks about intervals and steps for creating great jazz lines. He uses the jazz standard, Have You Met Miss Jones? And so you're gonna learn a lot just from the little bit that I show you here of how he builds this little etude that he's written using this as an exercise. Oh, and by the way, Brett also has a really great channel if you're a keyboardist and you use Live Setup and use Ableton and wanna know all the tools and tricks to do that. It's called Live Keyboardist. I'll link that in the description down below as well. So without further ado, let's jump right into that.
A little bit. So for F major, I'm starting on the 3rd, which is a strong note, and I'm walking up and skipping down. So here are my steps, my intervals, and then walking down my chord tones, my 7, 5, 3. And then I know that I want to land on F sharp, so I'm adding this G in because it's from the original scale so that I get this nice landing. And again, going right up with our interval idea. And I'm sort of borrowing this idea a little bit from a D7 chord, even though the actual chord there is an F sharp diminished. It's sort of paying homage to the 1, 6, 2, 5 here. But all together, we've got steps up, hop down. Now I've got my intervals. And then I've got this chromaticism, adding in this B natural so that I can approach B flat from a half step. There's my intervals, skipping up, my 3, 5, 7, 9. Walking down, here are my steps. And I'm going to keep walking over my C7 chord. And then I'm going to jump up. So I started on C and walk down, right? C, B flat, A, G. Now I'm going up, D, C, B flat. And I know that I want to use this particular line here. So I want to make this A stand out. So I'm going to do that by going B flat, G sharp, A. So all together from this G Dorian, and I'll stop on that A so you can kind of hear the effect that has. So we've got this skip up. Right? So it gives us this A as a landing point. And this is also helpful to note because this G sharp would kind of be like if we were doing G sharp A, which makes it feel a little bit like home without actually totally tonicizing it. So there's our G sharp. And then I have this pattern here, which I really think is more of a motif, but I'm incorporating some intervals. So it sounds like this. So starting on my root and then chromatically descending, I've got to skip up, chromatically approaching the 7, chromatically approaching the 3rd F of D minor. And this is just a skip and a step, and it really works. Even over D minor, because we've already sort of made it known that it's D minor. G wouldn't be the strongest note, but it is the 11th, which is a good extension of the D minor chord. And continuing with that 11th idea, right? I've got this G, and then I'm gonna do my skip up. which is a pretty common jazz line here. So I'm starting on the 3rd and going all the way up to the 9th. So we've got... All right, let's do it from the beginning, just so we can hear it. So we've got our steps up and our skips down. We've got some added chromatic notes, and here's what it is when you put it all together. Sounds like jazz, right? Now, we're not doing anything crazy. We're just doing our intervals and our steps. So this is totally achievable. We're just mixing it up. Now, this here, this C7, is the 5 chord, right? The turnaround, the dominant chord that makes 1 sound like home bass. So instead of choosing notes here that help me to really outline C7, I'm choosing notes that help me feel like I've arrived home when I get to this F major. So I'm still starting on the 3rd, but I'm adding this chromatic D flat to approach my C. Now you'll see I've got this motif here, right, where I've got, 4 eighth notes, bo-ba-dee-dum, where it goes up and then down, up and then down. And then I'm shifting it, but still doing the same thing. It goes up and down. And then we're moving here where we've got our step, our jump, and walking down. So here's what that line sounds like. I played that last one wrong. That's so here, starting on the E natural and using this F A G to outline that G, and landing on the 3rd of A minor. So we're walking up here and we're walking down here, and I'm adding some chromatic notes where we're connecting the 7th of A minor, this G, to the 3rd of D minor. So would sound like this. Doing the same thing, right? Pulling in that idea of motif from the other one. And this is also a chromatic passing, right? But when we do these two next to each other, it kind of has this call and response vibe, right? Going down this time. Now we're going up again. And as we walk down, approaching that C with the chromatic. Two very similar ideas, but just different enough that it feels like, okay, section ended, double bar line, moving on.
All right, hope you found this tutorial helpful in that this gives you some ideas for starting to compose and build your own jazz lines that will hopefully eventually come out in your jazz playing. So be sure to check out my LGS Inner Circle membership. If you like this, we have a whole mini course called Making Scales Musical 101 and many other things, including monthly jazz standard studies, full-on practice programs, 101 courses like that, live monthly Q&As, and a really awesome community of like-minded musicians. So I'll go ahead and leave that up here for you to check out and see if it's a right fit for you. All right, that's all for today's video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, make sure you like this video, and look forward to seeing you in the next one.